Hi y'all, Mike Peace Woodturning. Welcome back to my shop. A few weeks ago I did an unboxing video of the new Record Power Victory chuck with its accessory jaw inserts. And I said I'd come back when I had a little more experience. And I've used this chuck and jaws for every project I could possibly do in the last month. I want to be fully transparent. They did send this to me at no cost before they even hit the market. It's not a week that goes by that I don't get multiple solicitations from folks as a medium YouTube channel saying, hey, we want to see this free merchandise if you do a video for us. And frankly, I hit the delete button on almost everything because I'm not interested in wasting your time or mine on sharing information that might not be useful to you. I guess one of the main points I want to get across is I see very little difference in the basic chuck between the SC4 and the Victory chuck. That's not a bad thing because the Record Power SC4 is my main go-to chuck. I feel like it's got both of them have precision engineering and scrolling and very well made. So the basic chucks are virtually identical except for the insert. With the Victory chuck, it has a direct threaded insert for 1x8, 1 1/4 by 8, and M33. With the SC4, you can get inserts. You have to install an insert, and you get some inserts for some oddball sizes that very few modern lathes come with. If you're going to be changing your lathe in the near future, then there's some advantage of getting one that comes with an insert to match your lathe spindle. But if you are where you are, like I am, I have two Pyromatics of 1 1/4 inch. I really prefer the direct threading. The other difference, of course, is the jaws that come with it, the normal jaws. With the Victory chuck, you get this longer set of VersaLock jaws, and we'll get into some more details about that later. But they are certainly stand off longer than the normal jaws on your SC4. I've gotten to like these longer jaws because it gives you some offset. Having longer jaws puts the work a little farther from your chuck, and it makes it a little easier when you're making the cut, say, behind the bowl when you've got it set in hollowing mode that you could not easily get there with the jaws, normal jaws for the SC4 or the SC3. Now, one viewer questioned about the rigidity of these jaws with the longer standoff, and I would say I don't think it's an issue. You can tell from this picture they are a more robust jaw, and where it would start to become a problem would be on very large work in which you would use a larger set of jaws anyway, because you want to keep your chuck tenon or recess somewhere ideally in the area of at least 1/3 of the diameter of the bowl. So once you start getting into larger bowls, you need larger jaws. Now, the Record Power, the closest thing they've got to these normal jaws for this kind of purpose are the long jaws. Long jaws are indeed longer than these. They also have serrated edges, which if you're putting a rough cylinder in there, that works fine, but for other projects this works better. And I find that I use these quite a bit, similar to the way Richard Raffin uses his Vicmark shark jaws to put smaller projects with blocks of wood in there without having to put it between centers and bother to turn a tenon. Here's an example of a project, like I said, that you could put in the jaws and hold it without rounding it off, without having to put it in between centers and then take it off and add a tenon and remove the live center and put the chuck on it, which speeds things up. I would not feel comfortable chucking something like this in the normal jaws as a square. So let's see how long it takes to swap out a jaw. We'll start it. We're just going to put this in here, spin it until it comes loose, put in the replacement jaw, insert. Seconds. So to do all 4 of them shouldn't take but about a little less than a minute and a half. So let's compare the Victory, the VersaLock insert long dovetail. Frankly, I don't see big differences in capacity between that and the pin jaws. They both have the nice 90-degree squared shoulders. The whole differences in the middle, what dowel or round piece of wood they can hold, minor differences. The differences in set at 1/8 inch,
that should give close to an optimum circle. There's only a couple of millimeter difference in size. So functionally, I'd say these two are basically interchangeable. So if you already have these, you probably don't need these. If you don't have these, then this starts looking more attractive because it is a little faster to swap them out for another. The other option are your pin jaws, or whatever they call these jaws. I forgot, for the SC2. They are quite a bit larger, but they have similar functionality for a small dovetail footprint on a small bowl, or if you're doing a little bit larger bowl, uses pin jaws. I frankly, if I was using it, turning a bowl for pin jaws, I'd want a bigger chuck than this, so this is probably not a good valid comparison between these two. Alright, then we've got these dome jaws in the VersaLock. I'm not sure why anybody would want to turn a pencil, but let's just say using that for an illustration. I guess the point I want to make is it just shows you it is machined very well, it holds very well, and this is great for turning very small items, especially ones where you might need to work very, very close to the chuck because you've got that round surface spinning around and you're not nearly as likely to get fouled in the chuck. If you need this kind of dome jaws, the VersaLock system is the way to go because they don't have these, Record Power doesn't have these as a regular set of jaws. They do have them for the SC2 or the SC1, which if you're doing small stuff, I'd frankly prefer a little smaller chuck such as the SC2, but the jaws is going to take longer to swap out. One of the tasks that I use these dome jaws for that works very well is using a very tiny drill bit. When I'm doing a production run of angel ornaments where I have to drill a hole for the screw eye, I find it easier to mark this with an awl and come in and do it like this. I recognize you could do this with a drill bit. I don't like to use a drill bit without a drawbar. This was not fitted for a drawbar, so I find this is a real good solution for holding drill bits that are smaller than they could be held on the dome jaws that come with that suitable for the SC1 or the SC2 chucks. One viewer asked if the jaw inserts are numbered, and they are. We've machined a little groove here for this rubber band, which I see serves no real purpose, and if it dried out or you lost it in 10 years, you'd never have to replace it because it didn't accomplish anything. But I would have to say it was a brilliant marketing scheme because it sure makes the chuck stand out in photographs and brochures from other chucks, but I don't see it serving any real useful purpose, but it doesn't cause any problems either. I'll leave it on there to look pretty. I like the chuck removal wrench that comes with the Victory as well as the SC4 chuck, and I like the way that if you got threaded inserts, it just fits right in there and pops it out. So much so that I actually put a slab handle on it because that was the only one I used, and it made it a little more comfortable. However, with the Victory chuck, my recommendation to Record Power is that they drill holes in the direct threaded portion like they have on the insert, so you could use that same chuck wrench end instead of having to use the larger wrench end, which I don't care for as much. It goes into pintle on the SC4, but I feel like that's going to increase wear and tear on that pintle because it may not necessarily be on the flat area when you're going to break it loose. So, Record Power, if you're listening, drill a couple of holes like you have on your threaded inserts.
You guys know how much I love to teach, or I wouldn't be making these videos. So I do teach lessons in my shop. If you live in the Atlanta area, you got relatives in the Atlanta area, or you're just traveling through, check it out. Details on my webpage. I guess I shouldn't be surprised at how manufacturers are using new technology. You can download the manual with the QR code on the package, which makes it real fast because you can bring it up on your phone without having to do research. This wasn't available on the pre-production model or before it hit the market, but they're up there now. So you click on the link and you bring up the documentation for the jaws and the chuck. Now let's talk a little bit about documentation. Okay, I know a lot of you guys don't like to read the manuals, but The manuals contain a lot of information that's especially newsworthy for folks that are new turners because you don't know what you don't know. The documentation for these chucks and jaws, I think, are fairly extensive. They've got more information on safety and some basic wood turning information than you'd expect from most manufacturers. That said, there are a couple of things that I would want to point out. First of all, the woodworm screw instructions should be clear on installing the woodworm screw. The manuals for the SC3 and the SC4 chuck were not clear on installing the woodworm screw either. This illustration from the manual looks okay, but it's not correct. The guidance should be clear regarding pulling the woodworm screw forward until the back collar rests against the underside of the jaws. This is important because tightening the workpiece will tend to pull the screw loose in operation. Let me show you what happens when you don't put the woodworm screw in properly. In this case, we push it all the way back. There's no gap here. I think you can see now how the woodworm screw got pulled forward until there's a gap here, which is the way it's supposed to be, and it's going to happen in normal course of circumstances. Now, had this been tight enough, and when you put this on, it did not pull forward. Let's say you were able to successfully mount it against the walls, and you had a gap in the back. When you go to turning this thing, you're going to, with the forces, you're going to cause that thing to come loose like this. Then you're going to have a problem losing your project. The Victory Chuck manual fails to clearly describe how to make a spigot for the VersaLock standard jaws. The jaws appear to have the same micro dovetail as the SC3 and the SC4 normal jaws and the 35mm jaws from Record Power. On page 27, the documentation says, turn the spigot at an angle to match the inner dovetail profile of the jaws being used, as shown in figure 11.8, and then mount the jaws and turn the inside surface. Unfortunately, figure 11.8 shows a different jaw set, not the VersaLock standard jaws. Because it has the same micro bevel as the SC3 and the SC4, and those instructions call for parallel tenons, which I agree with. These instructions should be corrected to make that clear. I've been in a number of workshops where folks just seem to assume that every tenon is supposed to be a dovetail, no matter what the manufacturer says or what the profile of the jaws say, and that gets them in trouble because it'll create vibration and sometimes cause them to lose the project. Some people can effectively cut a little micro dovetail, but most beginners, it's going to cause you more problems than it's going to solve. So I believe it ought to be a parallel tenon. And if they're not going to include a printed manual in with the instructions, which is fine. Most computers and everything else has gone to electronic instructions. It makes it real easy to correct and update instructions. So when you hit the QR code, you'll bring up the latest version. Let's hope that happens. My first video, several commenters asked about where they could buy these. For my Canadian friends, you can get them at Stockroom Supply. Here in the U.S., one of my favorite vendors is the Woodturning store. I'm an affiliate marketer, so if you use the link in the show notes to purchase anything, whether it's Record Power chucks or any other piece of equipment, I will get a small commission. Record Power says that the VersaLock system is going to be expanded with more jaw accessories in the future, so I'm real excited about that possibility, so stay tuned for that. And keep in mind that if you use a Technitool chuck, the fixings are the same as a Record Power, so you can take a Record Power set of jaws such as this VersaLock and mount it on a Nova chuck. You just got to remember, if it's an old style chuck where you turn counterclockwise to tighten it, or anti-clockwise as Richard Raffin says, you need to reverse the number 2 and the number 4 chuck position. And you can get this set of the VersaLock base standard jaws and the inserts as a package, so that's something worth checking into. For some of y'all that don't necessarily need a new chuck but you like that system, you can just get that package. So in summary, I find this to be a very nice chuck system. I like the standard jaws, the longer length, because it adds some additional functionality with I haven't seen any drawbacks. I'm looking forward to the idea that they're going to come up with some additional chuck inserts besides the 3 they came out with. Certainly, if you need the kind of jaws that these insert holding provides for you, this is a whole lot faster way to change out those jaw sets. I'd appreciate your comments on this system or anything I've talked about. Any questions you might have. If you missed the earlier unboxing video, it'll be here. If you missed the review on the SC4 chuck, I'll have the link here. And remember, y'all stay safe. Come on back, you hear?